Rob Fraser here. In this video, basically, I want to talk about playing the numbers game with my instant cash strategy. I posted this post in my group, and basically, what I want to do is just kind of break this down a little bit. And these are my current numbers following this exact strategy. So going into this, and all of these numbers I can confirm, and these are my current absolute numbers. I tell folks all the time, making money online is a numbers game. You know, the ones who make the most money simply show the program to the most people. You know, I used to work as a telemarketer, and the guy would tell us, look, if you just focus on making 150 to 200 phone calls a day, regardless of the outcome of the phone call, you're going to make 1 to 2 sales a week. And 1 to 2 sales, our commission, I think was like 500, $1,000, something. I like, not 500, it was like 700 to $1,000. So if we just focused on making 150 phone calls a day, the numbers would work out in our favor, that we would average 700 to $1,000 a week cash in our pockets. So marketing online is just the same thing, with the exception of we're not picking up the phone and calling folks. You know, folks are actually calling us. So basically, I made this post. I'm gonna just get into it. From my system, 1 out of every 244 leads becomes a sign up. And I averaged $656.25 per signup. I've been active in P3, our instant cash strategy, for 12 weeks, and I averaged $1,312.50 per week from commissions. So basically, I averaged 2 sales a week. I used a power lead system to promote the whole system, and I averaged $1,187.40. So $1,187.40 per week from Power Lead System commissions. So basically, if I want to keep bringing in that $1,300 a week or my 2 signups, the only thing I need to focus on is getting 488 leads per week. Because remember, 1 out of every 244 leads becomes a signup. If I want 2 signups a week, I just focus on getting 488 leads. And then it's very easy, because I just take half of my P3 commissions, and I'll buy cold traffic. Now keep in mind that these numbers are really just talking about cold traffic. It's not talking about all of the leads I get through my videos, my social media, any other forms of marketing. So I'm actually getting more leads than what I'm sharing here because of my content that's already out there. The only thing I'm really focusing on is just purely paid traffic. And so I just go on down the line. You know, I talk about, I spend $650 a week in paid traffic. On average, I have 55 cents per click. So if I spend $650, that's going to get me 1,180-ish clicks. And, I just take the number, 30% opt-in rate on average. Sometimes I get more, sometimes I get less. 1,180 clicks will get me 354 leads. And then my free traffic gets me that remaining, 134 leads that I need to hit 488. And again, I need to hit 488 leads per week, because that's how I'm going to get my 2 signups per week. So, just going through my numbers, income disclaimer, this takes following a very specific plan and learning your own numbers. You will have your own numbers. And I'm going to just show you, income disclaimer first. This is not a promise or a guarantee you're going to make money, because a lot of people, they just don't simply follow the plan long enough. They just do not play the numbers long enough to win. It's just that simple. And if you keep playing the game, you're going to win. So in my case, from here on out, I'm just showing you proof and confirmation. And also, I'm going to show you how I'm basically getting my traffic paid for free with my perpetual traffic plan at the back end of this video. So, made about $15,750 so far, signed up 24 folks. This is where I'm getting those numbers in that Facebook post. So what I did was take $15,750, my commissions, and I divide it by 24. That's how I get my average amount of commissions per sign up, because the sign up numbers to get that, the basic level in P3 is $250, 500, and then there's $1,000 level. So, you know, obviously some people come in at 250, some people come in at 1,000, some people come in at 500. So that makes my average amount of commissions that I get per sign up I have it written down, $656.25 per sign up. And I've been in approximately 12 weeks, so I take 15,750 divided by 12. That averages out to that $1,312.50 per week. My Power Lead System commissions is my marketing system. You know, what I did was I take my past 5 weeks of commissions, and then I divide it up. I find the average. So I have a realistic number for planning and taxes and things like that. And again, you know, that number is $1,187.40. Now, one thing that I've done that's real powerful is basically I combined my perpetual traffic plan on the back end of my instant cash strategy. And so that basically, I go into detail. When you go through my marketing system, you'll get the information on how I'm working this. But since adding my perpetual traffic plan on the back end, I am able to increase my weekly bottom line. And so since doing that, I have two programs that I use. I use My Paying Ads and I use Future Ad Pro. My Paying Ads, every single day I withdraw $200. As you can see here, last 10 days withdrawal about $2,400. Last 30 days, $6,400. So $200 a day times 30 days is $6,000. But you know, I'm starting to earn a little bit more here. But just so you understand where I'm getting these numbers from. And then Future Ad Pro, I was withdrawing about, you know, $100 a day, $150, $200 a day. I went up to $400. And so now I'm actually changing my strategy here. I'm going to just simply withdraw $2,000 a week. So with Future Ad Pro, I'm going to take out $2,000 a week. With My Paying Ads, I'm going to take out $1,400 a week. So that gives me $3,400. And then I take that and I add that to my P3 commissions and my Power Lead System commissions. And that gets me $5,899.90 per week. Now, to maintain $5,899.90 per week, I have to get 488 leads per week, if you remember that earlier in the video. So, in the Facebook group, let me pause out these conversations. In the Facebook group, I talk about, you know, just using half my P3 commissions. However, when I add my perpetual traffic plan on the back end, leveraging My Paying Ads, leveraging Future Ad Pro, that gives me an additional $3,400 a week. Now, it's very simple. If I just want to rely on paid traffic and not do videos, not do social media, then it's very simple. The only thing I have to do is buy 1,626 clicks per week, average of 30% opt-in, which will get me my 488 leads. That cost me $893.75. So in a nutshell, if I want to keep $5,899.90 per week coming in, I have to spend $893.75 on paid traffic. Hopefully that's making sense to somebody, because somebody did ask me, I'm just close out my Facebook. Somebody asked me, how much do you have to spend to get, that money coming in? And so this right there should answer that question. If I want to keep $5,899.90 coming in, I have to spend $893.75 a week on paid traffic. So what I do is I'll take $58.99.90 minus $893.75, so profiting $5,006.15 a week. Obviously, from that, I take money aside for taxes, money aside to pay bills, things like that. Also, I know it sounds like big numbers, but I did not start out there. I get into, if you're watching this on YouTube, the link below will take you through my system. When you go through my system, make sure you click through the whole system and watch every video, because this page right here, I explain how to work your way up so you can buy more traffic, so I explain how to do that for free, and I do that on this page right here, because not everyone has $800 to spend a week on traffic, so understand that. I also have a training on how to work this plan with no monthly fees so you can scale up, because the name of the game is getting in and just simply scaling up. I have just been doing this longer than you. That's the only difference between me and you, and I know my numbers. That's the important thing. I know my numbers down to a T. In fact, here's my Aweber account. Ever since I promoted the instant cash strategy, I have 2,000 people, 2,307 people who have not opened my emails, so I know down to a T how many people have looked at my offer and how many people have joined. And it's really just that simple. It's just about playing those numbers week after week after week. That's the only difference between me and you. I've been doing it longer. I'm more convinced because I know my numbers, I know my plan, and I don't need to join anything else to mess things up. That being said, link is below the video. Rob Frazier here. Hopefully you got some value. Leave some comments, leave some feedback. Let me know what you think. We'll see you in the next video.